You said Steve Kerr gave you a lecture on that a long time ago.
Well, it wasn't a lecture. He said we weren't going to do it. So I'm going to tell him, you're not going to do it either, Steve.
I hope Toronto, the organization, I hope Bosch, Vince Carter, McGrady, Damon Stoudemire, I hope they're all up there for one of these games. This is a great moment for that organization. 25 years in the league.
And Drake, you forgot Drake. You hope
I'm talking about all-time great Raptors.
I think Chris is there. I think Tracy's there.
Okay. I'd like to see Vince be there.
I mean, Stoudemire after that.
Vince, maybe he does a little work with NBA TV. He might be.
But I hope they do something.
That's wishful thinking.
Why you say that?
Oh, it was Stoudemire. He was Rookie of the Year. He requested a trade out of Toronto.
I understand.
All the other guys requested to get out of Toronto.
I understand. Vince quit on him. I get all that.
Yeah,
But that's water under the bridge now.
So you want them to honor guys that got to the second round of the playoffs?
I want them to bring back the greatest players in the history of the franchise for the greatest moment of the history of the franchise.
I can respect that.
My goodness.
DeMar DeRozan probably won't be there.
It's tough for DeMar.
Yeah, he's somewhere shooting the mid-range right now.
Tough for DeMar.
All right, the Rockets built their team to beat the Warriors and then were eliminated by the Warriors in 4 of the last 5 postseasons. They're reportedly ready for wholesale roster changes, like basically the whole roster is up for sale. According to reports, while a James Harden trade is extremely unlikely, everyone else is available on the market, including Chris Paul and Clint Capela. Twan, is this the right approach for Houston in your opinion?
I think it's the right approach. You got to get younger at some point. They've spent the last 4 or 5 years trying to be able to match up with Golden State. Obviously, you cannot beat Golden State. This group cannot beat them. Last year, you win 65 games. You have a unique opportunity to have home court advantage. You don't take advantage of that. Obviously, we know Chris Paul got hurt, but it was no way they should have got the series last year. This year, you don't have Kevin Durant, and you still can't get past him. So you got to get that out your head. And now the Western Conference has gotten much better. Portland will be good again. Oklahoma City will be competitive. San Antonio will always be competitive. I mean, the Lakers should be back competitive. So it's
Clippers will be better.
Yeah, so you're not going to have just Golden State being the only team you go out there. You don't know what's going to happen with their team. It's time for them to focus in on their team. And it's hard because Mike D'Antoni is your coach and James Harden fits that system really, really well. The system does not win championships. It does not get you over the hump. It's not the right system. I don't think it's hard. Even though I don't care what coach you bring in, it's hard to say we're going to become this defensive team when you don't have defensive players to do that. This is an offensive-minded team, and it's going to be very difficult for Houston to do that. So everybody should be on the block. If nothing happens, I know they don't have any cap space, but if nothing happens, you can come back with that group and be very competitive. But, Chris, I heard you earlier, you're going to have to be able to get in the gym. Guys got to get better, dedicate their summers to trying to get over their hump, add something to their game, and I don't know if they're willing to do that. They had their chance the last couple of years. They blew it. That's over with.
I agree with most of that. I think they do have the ability to be a good defensive team. They were the number 6 defense in basketball the year. They won 65 games. This year, they started the year terribly defensively. They got better as the year went on. I think P.J. Tucker was the one glaring omission from all defensive team. And Clint Capela is out there for his rim protection. Now, Clint Capela is the guy, first and foremost, that has to get better this offseason. He has to develop some type of offensive game that isn't catching lobs from Harden off the pick and roll. Like, that is your #1 goal if you can't make a change. But this is the rest of the league. I'm sure there are a lot of people that don't like my pal Daryl Morey. Think he talks too much, thinks too smart for his own good, all these things, right?
Oh, same reason why they don't like you.
Exactly right.
Okay, go ahead.
Why do you think we're friends? And so Daryl, very publicly, everyone's punting, we're not. We're going for it. We're obsessed with Golden State. We're focused on 2020 when it's 2017. We're focused on this year. And I'm sure there's other teams, the rest of the league, saying, and see what it got you. It got you a bunch of bronze medals. And they don't give those out in this league. And now you're in a spot where I don't think anyone believes trading for Chris Paul was the wrong decision. But in order to get Chris Paul to agree to come to the Rockets, you had to tell him he was getting this contract. And you do it hoping that his first year there, you can win a title. And they were this close. And you hope the second year there, you can win a title. And they were that close. And it's going in the wrong direction for them. And I see you mentioned earlier that a lot of teams go through this process. You can't beat a team, you can't beat a team, then you beat them. It's rare that it's a 5-year process where 4 of those 5 years they knock you out, and the 1 year they didn't, they would have in 2017. You just got knocked out by San Antonio before.
And as a former athlete, both former athletes, if you're playing for the Rockets now and you know the team all but gave up on you. They just want to unload the roster and maybe keep the one guy, if you're Chris Paul, that you've kind of been arguing with as far as ball movement and whatnot. How do you say, all right, now go, okay, no, we couldn't move you. Go get better and let's come back and roll this back and let's be a cohesive unit again. If you're an athlete, I know we talked about the young guys for the Lakers maybe on the trade block, but now these are veterans. I mean, is that a little gut punching?
Well, this is the thing, yeah, but we're all adults. I mean, we're in a big-time business. People got to make tough decisions. I'm sure you understand that. You've had disappointments. Yeah, we were going to do the show, go a different route. I said, man, y'all need to hire Jenna Wolf. Oh, no, we're going to do this. Eventually, they hired Jenna Wolf, and you know what you did, Jenna? You put your head down, say, I'm the best person for the job. The show is going to be better, and that's what Chris Paul and them need to be saying. They need a little more variance in their offense. And collectively, when you get to the playoffs, everybody's got to chip in and play some defense. We can't be just an offensive-dominated team. I believe that they were close enough. I do like the fact that the owner and the general manager would send a scare into people, because sometimes you need different tactics to motivate different people a different way. But
it's tough, Chris. When you get a player like James Harden, especially a player as he is, that window of opportunity to get to the championship level is hard. Being close ain't good enough. You know that. I mean, you can say and they've had opportunities. They've had some things work their way. The first year, Chris Paul obviously pulls his hamstring. It goes against him. They lose Kevin Durant, a guy who was probably, at that point, was playing the best basketball of any basketball player in the playoffs, and you still couldn't get over the hump. So I don't know how.
Now that was only a game and a quarter. Now if Kevin Durant misses,
once he's out, he's out.
I can understand that. But if Kevin Durant, if he misses the whole series and they beat us, I would feel that way. Now, I really respect your opinion, but we're only talking about they only had to get through a little bit. And you know what Steph Curry, you know the way they run their offense. Is Golden State capable of beating Houston in one game winner take all? We would all be like, yes, absolutely. Now, if it had been the whole series, I'd have been like, listen, man, we need to trash everyone, get rid of everyone and move on.
Just 2 quick points. One, the first one is I understand. I understand the point of you were this close and you didn't get there. Like I get what both of you guys are saying in that regard. For the Rockets, though, the reason they felt they had to go all in was because they have the MVP. Because you look around the league, how many players, how many teams in the league can say it's the Warriors, it's the Lakers, it's the Rockets, maybe all of a sudden it's Toronto or Milwaukee. Like there's only a hand. You can be a GM for 20 years and not have a league MVP on your team. So that's why they go all in. I just think sometimes you go all in and you lose. And you put yourself in a position where they have one.
But going all in as far as gambling is totally different than in sports. Because next year we're going to play 82 games. We're going to get ready to see. You're going to have injuries. Golden State is coming back to the pack.
But to Jenna, to your point, the big difference, I think, between what's going on with the Rockets right now and the Lakers is during the year as opposed to in the offseason. Everyone knows transactions happen in the offseason. That is a very different situation than in the midst of a year, this is our team. Everyone is
And there's more veteran players. They're more used to the rumors. Chris Paul's been at a couple teams, so the rumors with them losing to Golden State are running rampant. As soon as they go to the locker room, they know, are they going to break up this team?
Look, breaking up this team isn't as easy as just doing it. There's a lot of big money contracts on it. Chris Paul, for one. There is a rumor, it's floated out there that maybe the Lakers would be a good landing spot for Chris Paul if they could pull off a trade. Would the Lakers be crazy to trade for Chris Paul?
I think so, because I think the reason why I think Chris Paul now is the third best player on the team. Now, I don't think he's the second guy. I know the money says he should be the second guy on the team, but I think he's the third best player on the team. I think he can play that role a lot better. You saw that this year throughout the playoffs when they needed him to have a big one. We talked about it on the show that we needed Chris to get 20, 25, and it was tough for him to get there. So now he probably is a 12 to 15-point scorer, still can defend, still can make plays for other people. So you got to think about that, where he's at right now in his career. I don't think he's done playing. I think he still can be an effective basketball player. But I think the role that he has to play, I don't think the Lakers need that role. I would rather take a young ball who can defend, who can play the point guard position. I would rather have him than Chris Paul. I wouldn't give up.
At a fifth of the money.
Yes. Oh, of course. I mean, the money speaks for itself. I'm not going to take anything away from them. I'm with guys getting paid.
But that's part of it. If Chris Paul was making the money Lonzo Ball's making, then it's a different discussion.
Well, they're different players, too. All right.
Even where the Lakers want to be. I know LeBron, he doesn't fit well with LeBron.
No.
Even basketball-wise, I don't even like the fit.
Let me tell you something, man. If they put Chris Paul and LeBron, me and Nick can go out there because they can't defend a whole bunch. In the Western Conference, him and LeBron in the backcourt is not a good match. The Lakers would be doing... Oh, they would just continue with the craziness if they decide to go with Chris Paul.
And if I may just real quick, for the record, so everyone knows, the only person who Jenna Wolf wasn't the first choice for was me, because I didn't want to be the third best athlete on the staff. I knew I was going to be second best. Chris and the bosses were fighting for forever, and I finally just waved the white flag.
I may not have been the first choice, but I was not the last choice.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Absolutely
so thank you very much.
Yes.
And whoever won,
and I was the only one fighting against you.
The person who supposedly won don't even have no TV career. Now, eat that wherever you at, you loser. I tried to tell y'all to hire Jennifer from the beginning. Antoine, we'll see you later on, bro.
Go do it.
We got other good stuff coming up. We're going to talk about the finals.
Yeah? What
impact
else?
of Steph Curry's